Hello everybody, welcome to S&S Southern Styles. I am today's host, Mrs. Taylor, and today I'm going to be showing y'all how to make these stocking charms. What you will need in order to make this is this brown mixed with this white and then this white by itself. You will need this red and this black. Good luck! Well, this one took two full weeks to dry. The only reason why it took so long is because I made them way too thick. It was horrible. And also it dried unevenly because of how thick it was and because of how long it took for it to dry. Parts of it dried out because this part's thinner than this part. So this part dried out quicker than this part did, and that caused this part to lift up, and it was horrible. So when you make these, please make sure that you make it even thickness throughout the whole design, because if not, you're going to have curves in it, unwanted curves in it. But it's what we got, and it's what we're gonna use. I didn't tell y'all what we were doing. Now we are going to roll out our clay as if it was cookie dough. And we're going to start at the center and push our way out. Keep in mind, however thick you make this is how thick your stocking is going to be. Now I'm only going to cut out 2 of these stockings. And we're going to roll away the excess clay just as carefully as we can without messing up. Oh my goodness. Yep. Oh my goodness. With this clay, apparently we're going to have to put saran wrap down, which is going to cause a bit of problems, but it'll be okay. I don't have saran wrap on me. I'm currently using it to let all my different ornaments dry. So I use a Ziploc baggie instead. You can do that. Get a Ziploc baggie, cut the ends off. Boom, there you go. So I'm going to end up doing one at a time, and I'm flattening it out with my hands. So I'm afraid that if I use the roller, it's just going to make a big mess. I'm going to cut out my stocking. Now since I have it on the saran wrap, I'm going to lift up the saran wrap and pull it off at the bottom, and I'm just going to push the edges through. I don't know why this clay isn't working. It's always done really well. It has a very Play-Doh-like consistency to it, but that seemed to work out well. So these next couple of rounds, that's probably what we're going to end up doing. The white clay that I was using, it was thicker. I don't know if the consistency in the clay is because of the coloring, or maybe it was just because the white clay I had longer, because this is new clay because I ran out of the white clay, so maybe that's a part of it. All I know is that the red clay I have is sticking to everything and it's not pulling apart good. It literally has the consistency of Play-Doh. So we're gonna have to work with it and mess with it as if it were Play-Doh instead of clay. This is gonna be a new one, but it'll be okay. So we got our first stocking down. Now we're going to work on our second one. Once again, I'm pressing it down with my hands. I'm not going to use the roller. I don't know how the roller is going to work with this. Now that I pressed it down and it's at a thickness I want, I'm going to grab my other stocking. I'm going to press down. I'm going to lift the whole thing up, saran wrap included, and I'm going to peel it off. And then I'm just going to get rid of the excess around it. Put that to the side and then push out my stocking. And here are my two stockings. I will say the shape of it has kept better than what the white one did. It's a learning process, and it's going to be a process I'm going to have to get used to. But as far as detail goes, it has better detail in it. Before we get too far gone and I forget, I'm going to poke holes through these. I'm just going to poke it right in the middle. You can use a toothpick or a pencil, anything that has a pointed edge. What you do to one side, you're also going to want to do to the other side, because although one side might look big, the other side could be completely opposite of it. Now I'm going to set that off to the side to let it dry. Now same thing that I did with that one. We're just going to poke a hole through it. And you see, it looks like a decent size opening, but when you flip it over, it's not. So you're going to have to make sure that the sides are even. Also, you're going to want to make sure that there's no excess clay in that hole, because it's going to be very difficult. And what I'm doing right now is the thing that I used in order to make the hole go through. I'm just rolling it against what I'm using, and all it's doing is just flattening out the edges so it's not as puffy. The little excess pieces that you might have around your clay, once it dries up, just take a fingernail file to it or sandpaper and it will take care of that. But we will get to that in a couple of days. So it's going to take about 2 to 3 days for this to dry, and I will see y'all then. So here are the stockings. They're fully dried up. I did forget to record these halfway through the drying process because I had some of them that are still drying. I thought that for some reason these would dry as slow, but they didn't. These dried up pretty quickly. So, but when you set your items out to dry, make sure you have them on something even, because you can see where they've curved up at, I'm hoping. But these guys are fully dried out. You can see dramatically in the red color how dry it is compared on how when we first started on it, because instead of it being that bright red, it's pinkish in color. I'm still going to set these out for 2 more days. They are fully dried, but they still feel cold to the touch. I don't know if that's because the house is cold or if it's not staying to room temperature. So just to make sure, I am going to set these off for just 2 more days. That would make 4 days in total that these have been drying out. Since I used red instead of white, I am going to have to go through and paint a good thick coat of white all over this fella before we can even get started on anything. If you use the white clay for it, there's no need for you to do this because it's white clay. You're not going to be able to tell a difference from this shade to a brighter shade, at least not for it being your base. You will later on, but as far as this part goes, you won't. I will probably just have to do one coat since I've made this thick enough that it should be good. Make sure to get all the crevices and nooks. Perfect. Now I do have paint stuck inside of my little opening. I'm just going to get a pencil and just poke it all the way through, and it's fine. If you want, you can, oops. If you want, you can even use a toothpick. It won't cause any difference. Making this into another cookie because I think they look adorable and they make me happy. No other reason. Ooh. Okay. Perfect. Now we're going to go through and we are going to mix our beautiful creation. I think y'all can see that. I hope y'all can see that. Now y'all can see that. We're going to mix the beautiful creation of my sugar cookie color that me and my husband have declared is the best color of all. And if my husband agrees with it, then I have to do it. And we're just going through, painting the sides. I usually don't paint them first, but why not? Still can't fully tell where I'm at. So I have a little mirror. Not a little mirror. I have a TV in front of me, and that's what I use in order to guide myself to see how far, how close I am to the camera, just because of how I am. Sometimes I can tell, other times I can't tell. Today is one of those days where I can't tell because the light's hitting the TV just in the right spot where I can't use it as a guide. So, yep. Oops, my bad. I'm going to set that off, let it dry, and we'll be right back to it. And the paint I am using, it's fast drying paint, and the brown that I'm using, it dries darker. So if you put a coat on and when you're mixing it and you want it to be a bit darker, paint it on something first, see how it looks once it's dry, and then determine your darkness from that point. Yeah. I'm gonna flip it over and I'm gonna paint the back side of it. You don't really have to unless people are gonna see it. I don't know if people are going to see mine or not. I'm just doing it because I have turned it into a habit. And habits, man, they are hard to quit. Making sure that there's no paint within my little opening that I have. And then we're going to let the back side dry. We're going to get started on the front. The back half is dry, and now we're going to get started on the front. We're going to put a coat of white down, and it's going to be the coat for our icing. And I'm just using the stocking itself to determine how it's going to look. I'm just leaving a thin outline of brown, not letting the white icing touch the edge of the stocking fully. Those were the words I was looking for. And I am also sorry if my voice comes in and out. Seasons are changing, man. which means allergies, and it sucks, but it's okay. Now I'm going to go through and I'm going to poke my little hole because I got paint in it, and I'm gonna set her off to dry. That the paint is all good and dried up. The white paint is all good and dried up. Now we are going to paint some more. I have this red, and that's what we're going to be using in order to make our stocking. Or you can make it a boot. I'm going to make mine a stocking. And I'm going to go and add swivels of the red up top in order to separate the white from the red. I am going to go through with the black and re-outline everything. Once I do, you will see why that is important. And we're just going to paint everything on there, just like so. Now I'm taking my black and we are going to start our outline. So I'm going to go through with my black and I am outlining everything. And I am making squiggles. A, because I want to. B, because my hands won't allow me to make anything else. And I am making squiggles onto my boot to make it look fluffy. Now I'm going to go through, hopefully without making any squiggles. I am going to outline my stocking. Sorry. Voila! Beautiful. And that's it. We're done. Nothing more to it. Thank y'all for watching. I hope y'all have a blessed day. Bye!